Welcome to Local SEO Unlocked, your ultimate guide for mastering local search marketing. Dive deep into the dynamic and ever-changing world of search. Whether you're aiming to boost visibility or engage local customers, this podcast is your pathway to not just being seen, but becoming a local favorite. Now, here's your host, Christian Hustle.
So are you running a healthcare practice or office location, but it's just not driving new patients into the door? In this video, I'm going to talk about common mistakes, pain points, and how to fix all of this so you can drive more patients into your door on a daily basis. Coming up. Hey, welcome to Local SEO Unlocked. My name is Christian Hustle, and for the last 12 years, I've helped local businesses and practices grow their revenue, grow their sales by driving foot traffic into their offices. This is actually the first video of our new series into healthcare marketing. So if you are into healthcare, whether you own a practice or you're doing marketing for a practice or a local healthcare office, you came to the right video. And in this specific episode, we're actually talking about why your healthcare SEO strategy isn't attracting new patients on a daily basis. There's probably a few things that I want to call out that I've seen as common mistakes time and time again with so many clients that we look at, and when we audit, a lot of the results are very similar. The reality is a strong online presence is essential for healthcare practices to attract new patients into the door on a daily basis. However, because of these mistakes that I'm about to talk about, or pain points, or issues that you have going on with your brand online, they are costing you patients. You're not seeing that foot traffic coming into your practice because you're probably missing some of these marks. So let's jump into them and start talking about these, right? Let's talk about first the importance of online presence for all healthcare practices. Again, this applies to everything healthcare, right? Whether you're running a spa or a dental practice, plastic surgery, or a specialist office as well. This applies across the board. And I've seen it firsthand, myself, my family, the way that we search for doctors, but also just working for so many years with different practices. We continue to see how this trend continues to grow and evolve, but the core continues to be the same. People are searching for your specialty, your services, your help online. And if they're not able to find you, then you're not reaching to those new potential patients that are not coming into your door. This goes hand in hand that once they find you, you need to have enough trust and professional brand online so they pick you. And last, building that engagement and loyalty so they continue to come back to you. Obviously, there's some practices where you want them to continue to come back versus other ones that you probably just want to get them healthy and not to see them again. This applies across the board, right? Because even if you're expecting them not to come back, they will talk about you to their families, their friends. They will refer you additional patients. This is a cycle, and it's very important for you to be tackling each and every step of the way, each and every piece of the pie, so that you can see that traction and you can continue to drive more patients into the door. So here's some common mistakes in healthcare SEO. One is ignoring user intent. That means you're not really thinking about what is that person that is searching online is looking for. When you're failing to identify that, you're going to fail to deliver the right message to these people. And that's why it's a very common mistake that we see. The second one is neglecting local SEO. So local SEO means people are searching for your specialty or your professional experience, your expertise online in Google Maps, in Bing Maps, in all different variety of apps, and in all this wide variety of apps online, and your practice is not visible on those apps because it hasn't been optimized. You are not pressing and you're not reaching to those local patients who are looking for you. The third common mistake that we often see is a lack of content strategy. This applies across the board as well. No matter what kind of practice you're running or you're managing or you're helping with, it applies the same way, right? We want to build community engagement. We want to build community visibility in your market, in your city, whether you have one practice or multiple practices, multiple offices. It goes hand in hand. So one of the very common mistakes that we see is the inconsistency of this low quality content that is just not serving that search as it should, right? And so you're missing out on those patients as an effect. Another very common overlooked mistake is just overlooking key search terms and user intent. Again, we talked about user intent previously, but I want you to really dig deeper into this. I really want you to put on your patient hat. How would you look for your own services or your own specialty? and really understanding what is the intent of that patient. Why are they looking for this specific thing? So let's talk about best cardiologist near me. It is a local search for a very specific service. I've seen cardiologist office practices that are not even targeting this type of keywords, and they're being overlooked, right? Now, in my experience, when we're looking at best keywords, so people looking for the best, they probably want to see some reviews. They want to see testimonials. They want to see a variety of different websites. And you want to make sure that you're all on all those websites showing up, because that's how you build your online visibility, but also your reputation. Now, when we're looking at things like symptoms of high blood pressure, the intent here is somebody searching for a specific health condition. So once you understand that, you're not going to build a page that talks about symptoms of high blood pressure, right? It's not a commercial intent keyword. This is actually an educational, informational keyword. So this, you address it with content, high quality content that can address the answer to this. And that way you gain their trust up front. And then from there, we drive the rest of the marketing, let it do its work so that we can convert that person into a patient into the door. Now, the last one that I have here is online appointment booking for dermatology. This is 100% transactional intent to schedule an appointment. So if you don't have online scheduling, if you're more into those transactional kind of practices, such as dermatology or dental, or things that you can and anybody can schedule and just come visit you, then this is something that you want to optimize for, because I bet that other practices in the area are probably not, but whoever is optimizing for this is capitalizing big time. So let's talk about what are the next steps? How do we solve for these pain points, these common mistakes? Make sure you're not making them. But if you are, it's okay. Let's change that. Let's make some changes and let's start talking about solutions. So when we're talking about local SEO, I don't want you to get your practice lost in the crowd. The online universe is vast and there's a lot of options for everyone, no matter the industry. And that applies to healthcare, right? So let's start talking about actionable items. And we're going to start with local business profile. Hopefully you already own and claim your local business profile. If not, then that's probably like almost pause this video and go create it, go claim your local business profile. But hopefully you already have it. And we need to talk about optimization. In a future video, I'm going to go more in depth into what to do there. But I really want you to consider local business profile as part of your online brand, because it is the core. This is what feeds Google Maps. This is what feeds a lot of information to Google for validation to know if you're a legitimate practice or not. So this is the core. This is where we begin. Local citations, especially in healthcare. There's a bunch of different healthcare citations or directories where people go and search for reviews and reputation of specific doctors or physicians, things like that. And I want to make sure that you are in there and that you're building reputation, that you have a very well optimized profile, because let me tell you, people are looking at it, right? They are looking at a variety of 3 to 5 different locations before they even schedule an appointment with you. So keep that in mind. And the last thing that I want you to start doing is geo-targeting. So really optimize that website of yours to be targeting specific areas around your market, especially when you're in a very big, large city. It will take a massive amount of budget for you to be able to rank in cities like the entire LA or Houston or New York City. Even if you were to achieve the #1 ranking across the entire city, it's very unlikely that people are going to drive from one side of town all the way to the other side of town. So when that's the case, you want to localize it. You want to target very specific areas, zip codes, neighborhoods, areas around your practice that you can drive traffic from, that we know the distance is not an issue. Now, the other pain point that I've seen in the past and how we solve it is lack of cohesive content strategy. I continue to mention content because content continues to be very, very important for healthcare visibility, right? To place your practice at the very top of searches, you need that strategy. You really need to be pumping content, high quality, valuable content that people can read, learn, consume, and build trust that way. So here we're talking about, let's talk about planning. Like, how can you really grow an audience? What can you do to really control that visibility, right? So maybe it's create a content calendar. What are we going to do in January, February, March? Can you tie those to holidays or special things that you have going on? Then creation. How do we go from planning to creation? Who's in charge of it? Who's going to be writing it? I know practice owners are not going to have time to write a blog. So maybe you have external help helping you write the blog, create the social media post, create cool graphics, and then you running your practice, you can just double check it, right? A quick quality control and boom. Let's talk about distribution. Where is it going to go? We need to promote that and across social media, depending what services or what vertical you're in and what kind of patients you're dealing with is what channels you should be focusing on. I mean, yes, Facebook is a very popular one. Then you have Instagram, it's just a little bit more graphical. Then we have YouTube if you want to become known in the industry, right? Even LinkedIn comes in handy in that area as well. So it just depends depending on what kind of patients are you looking for and how are we going to distribute that content to make you successful. The next one, man, this one is, if you take anything away from this video, is this one. Neglecting your online reputation. Man, oh man, let me tell you, I've been doing some research trying to find some specialties in town, and I don't want to bore you with the whole story, but the online reputation of these doctors, and fair disclosure, I do not know these doctors. I don't know how good they are or not. I'm just going by what I'm finding online as a possible patient, right? Like anybody else, like the ones that you're trying to bring into the door. And then you do a quick search for the doctor. You look at the reviews online across different directories, including Google, and they look terrible. And you can tell that they're not taking it serious. Hopefully, only the negative ones are going live. And I'm sure it's a great doctor, great practice, but positive reviews are very hard to get. I don't want your practice to fall into that segment. So here are some things that I want you to keep an eye on. One, not having enough reviews, because patients are really more likely to choose a practice with positive online reviews. Number two is you have too many negative reviews. Again, negative reviews are very easy to acquire. People are very vocal when it comes to negative reviews, but we need to change that. We need to get more positive reviews. And number three is not responding to reviews. I mean, you really have to be responding both positive and negative. I would actually say respond more to negative reviews. What happens is positive reviews are already positive, so people might skim them. When there's a negative review, people are actually going to read that review, and depending on the story or what does the review says, because the way that you address it can then turn this review into a positive. Maybe your response makes it look like, hey, this was the patient's problem, right? This was on the patient's thing and is not really on us. And then the prospect can see that. The possible person checking you out is going to get that from your response depending on how you handle it. So crucial to respond to all reviews as well. Now, the other challenge is, and this is across the board, it is going to be difficult to track things like ROI, how many patients specifically book from this specific website, but there are some things that you can do. And I want you to really start thinking about this. If you want to take your online visibility serious, you want to grow your practice, and you want to really drive patients into the door, we need to look at analytics. So we need to be looking at your website traffic. We need to be looking at how are you ranking online for keywords and searches related to your practice. And then last but not least, what are they doing? How are they converting? Are they turning into online appointments, into phone calls, or maybe just requests for directions if you are more into walking setup? So really start thinking about this. This is going to tell you a bigger picture story to know what is working, what's not working, and then we can double down on what's working. So to recap this entire episode, I want you to really start mastering healthcare SEO, right? I want you to start seeing sustainable patient growth. I want you to attract new patients, build loyalty, and achieve that sustainability growth that is going to let you grow your practice. And I know that if you're able to address the mistakes and pain points that I've seen so far, that I've been talking about on this episode, because these are the same mistakes that we continue to see every time when we're working with a new healthcare client. I don't want you to make those mistakes, so hopefully this was a very valuable episode for you. I do have a free healthcare blueprint that you can download for free, as well as other ebooks, PDFs, courses coming as well. I'm going to link the drop in the description box. You can just go to christianhustle.store and you can download that for free, so you can take more actionable items, step-by-step guides on how to transform your practice into a very successful one. All right. Well, if you found value in this video, please smash that subscribe button, give it a like. If you know anybody that may need to see this video, tag them in the comments as well, as it will help us get our message to the right people and so that we can help you guys as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Keep hustling.
Thanks for tuning in to Local SEO Unlocked. For more resources to help you succeed in local search marketing, visit us at woobound.com/podcast. Don't miss out on becoming the local favorite. Join us next time for more insights and strategies. Until then, keep hustling.